I'm back, baby. It's Sunday. It's Sunday sandwiches, and I'm coming off the bye week, taking my week off. Welcome to my Sunday sandwich series. I am Billy Zuricat. You are tuned into my Kittch channel, and what we do on Sundays, we make sandwiches. And a lot of things have changed since the last time I joined you on a Sunday. Um, a lot of things changed in that literally just 1 week that I was away. The Bears are back. So like this whole sandwich series that I created because the Bears are probably going to stink. Well, they still stink, but we have a quarterback. Something has happened over the last 4 or 5 weeks where Justin Fields has just kind of put it together and the game's starting to slow down and he's starting to speed up. And I may have to retire this sandwich series because I think I'm actually really excited for football again. My mood has changed so much from the first 4 weeks to where it is now. It's pretty wild. But if this is your first Sunday joining me, my name is Billy Zuricat. I'm a home cook and baker from Chicago, and I love sandwiches. And I like to make some original sandwiches every Sunday to coincide with the NFL season. And it did start off the initial idea of the Bears being bad and unwatchable, and I needed something to perk me up on Sundays. Well, not anymore. Bears are back. So now the sandwiches are just a little icing on the cake, or a little sandwich on the cake, if that makes any sense at all. So anyway, we are back. I did take a bye week last week. I was down in Austin for my really close friend's wedding, and I actually did make a sandwich. I could have went live. It wouldn't have been a Sunday. It should have been on Saturday, but I made a smashed breakfast smash burger, basically sausage smash burger for all my friends. So could have went live with that. I didn't. I needed to take a week off. So just like the NFL season and NFL players taking their bye week, last Sunday was my sandwich bye week. But this week I am back. And today we are making a falafel po' boy. And I wanted to do, as you know, I like to bring original ideas in sandwiches and little spins on sandwiches. So I want to take the New Orleans classic po' boy and give it a Middle Eastern spin. I am Jordanian. My parents are from Jordan, immigrated here in the 70s. And I like, as an adult now, I've suddenly leaned into my culture a little bit more for all the things that I did not like to eat as a kid. Now I suddenly love. And I like to bring cool, fun, modern twists on, some classic Middle Eastern flavors. So we're going down to New Orleans today, home of Zion Williamson, home of the Taysom Hill, and Jameis, the best quarterback in football. So no, we're gonna make a New Orleans classic today, po' boy, but again with the Middle Eastern spin. So if you're familiar with the po' boy, it starts off with a classic po' boy bread. It's almost like a French roll essentially, where you have a crispy, thin exterior, and then you leaves to a nice soft, pillowy inside, which is a perfect vessel for fried shrimp, fried oysters, roast beef. Typically, they're on top with those toppings, and there's all sorts of different type of po' boys, obviously in New Orleans. Other elements are there, typically shredded lettuce, tomato, pickle, and then typically a remoulade. So a remoulade is a French inspired dressing, mayo based, that has Creole mustard, pickles, different Creole spices in there, capers, some hot sauce, and usually a bunch of herbs, parsley, dill. I want to give that a Middle Eastern spin. So obviously the filling is falafel. If you're unfamiliar, falafel is basically, I would say, almost like a chickpea fritter. So it's you take. I'm gonna actually do another video deep dive on this another day. Actually show you how to make these. These were made yesterday, so I didn't want to take up too much time today doing this. But a falafel is basically soaked chickpeas that you let soak overnight, and you blend them together with onions, garlic, parsley, cilantro, a bunch of different spices, and some sesame seeds, bound together with some baking powder, and you roll them into balls and fry them. And these are amazing. So I wanted to give a little spin on this. So we're going to use this as the base. So this will be this is a featured ingredient on there. We'll obviously have lettuce and tomato. And then we're going to do a Middle Eastern inspired remoulade. And I'm taking some flavors that are familiar with traditional remoulade and taking some flavors that are usually, coincide on a typical like a falafel sandwich, I don't know why I said sandwich like that, but yeah, it's we're gonna mix those two together and then put a sandwich together. So, couple things. I couldn't, unfortunately, due to timing and also the fact I'm in Chicago, not New Orleans, it's not as easy to find like truly authentic po' boy bread here in Chicago. And I went with what I can find that was best. So if I had more time, I would probably end up just making the bread myself. Or I could have went to maybe like a Vietnamese market. A lot of times, a Vietnamese market, you'll find the bread that's used in a banh mi is very similar to what you would use in a po' boy, or at least the closest to me. But I just got a basically a French roll baguette, similar. It's not like a hard baguette; it's still soft on the inside. The outside's a little bit a little bit thicker than I wanted, but we're gonna go with that the best we could. So let's start this off by just simply getting this bread ready, and then we'll take you through the sauce and everything. So I'm going to cut off the ends of this here. And let's change this up for you. By the way, if you are watching me live here, there's the chef's table. If you would like to join the chef's table, you just click on that. And what that will give you the ability to ask me questions. You can join with two-way video. You could cheer me along. You can heckle me if you want to. If you're feeling really aggressive this morning, you want to heckle me at 9 a.m. on a Sunday, by all means do it. But join the chef's table. While we're out here, follow me on Instagram, The Real Billy Z. There's a link on my page here. You can click on that. And yeah, give me a follow and see what I'm making. So we're going to start off by just taking off the edges of this, taking off the butt, and then we're going to cut this completely down the middle. We're not going to leave, typically most sandwiches that I do, I like to leave a hinge on. This one we're not. We're going to actually cut straight through. All right, so our bread's ready. It's actually warm too. Typically I would say toast this, but I already have this. I got this fresh about half an hour before this started, so that's all good to go. So we don't need to toast that up. If you want to add a little toast to your bread, obviously do that. If you had your bread sitting around, go for it. But mine's fresh, and so I'm not doing that. There's no need on my end to do that with that particular one. So that's simply enough. The bread's already ready. Just clean this off real quick. And then we're going to get started on a remoulade. Get that going. All right. So, our Remy. So what we're going to do in a bowl here, we are going to start off with a little bit, because we want to keep this traditional, we're going to start with a little bit of mayo. Got to use Duke's mayo. If you have access to it, go for it. I'm going to put in probably 2 big tablespoons of that. And then we're going to put in, we'll go with some Greek yogurt. Greek yogurt's usually the base for a lot of sauces and sauces that go to pair well with falafel, with fluff sandwiches. You can use Greek yogurt, usually cucumbers, and making almost similar to like a tzatziki. So with that, we're gonna combine this. This is about, we're gonna use the whole thing. 5 ounces of Greek yogurt. I'm gonna make a big batch of this. I can use this for other sandwiches and such during the week. So pop those in there. Check that out. Okay. Next element, typically use Creole mustard. All right. I don't have access to Creole mustard. We're gonna use stone ground mustard. If you have Dijon, use Dijon, or spicy brown mustard would work too. All right, we're gonna go in with about a heaping teaspoon of that. Grab a towel real quick because we have a mustard accident. All right. Next, we're going to add some tahini in here. Tahini is essentially a paste that's made up of ground sesame seeds. All right. You can find this we should be able to find this in most stores. This is actually from Trader Joe's. If you got Trader Joe's near you, do that. But I usually have more of an authentic Middle Eastern brand on hand. Just ran out of it because I made a big dressing this week. But what you want to do with the tahini, you want to stir this well, because once it sits, it will have you'll have a layer of basically oil on top. So you want to get this emulsified back together a little bit. And then we're going to go ahead and add, this will probably be about a tablespoon. Okay, I want to get that sesame flavor in there. A little bit more. Okay. All right. So we got our tahini in there. 1 second. All right. Next, capers. So caper berries. Get these. You can find these in your the pickle olive section. Typically, you'll find these. We're going to drain these off. They usually come packed in water. And I'm going to just drain those off for a second. We're going to give them a rough chop here. So we're just going to get these on and just run your knife through them just to break them up a little bit. All right. So like I said, we're going to try to keep this a lot of the same flavors and ingredients that you'll find in a traditional remoulade. We're going to just try to keep it as authentic as we can. But like I said, putting our own little spin on this here. All right, so got capers in. Next up, pickles. Typically it's used French cornichons, small sweet pickles. So I'm going to have, let's do 2 for now. Let's see how much that yields. So you just want to get these now. We're just going to get them and just run your knife, split them in half, and then take the half, split the half in half. Okay. Do the same thing, split it in half. Get that down. Split that in half. And now we'll just dice these up. So I'll get these all in a row. Just roughly, I shouldn't say roughly, we're going to just give these a small dice. All right. All right. So get those in there. That's going to provide, no, these aren't dill pickles. They're going to give you a little sweetness in there. Not your traditional dill pickle. These are a little sweeter. So it's going to give a nice sweet balance to this. You know, we got some sweet, salty, savory elements in here. Now we need to bring it with some spice. So Cajun seasoning, if you have a Cajun seasoning blend, go ahead and do that. I don't have that on hand, but a couple of the big flavors that you'll find in these blends are typical spices. Typical Cajun blend is going to be thyme, oregano, and then cayenne powder, cayenne pepper, and then paprika, salt, black pepper, white pepper, and some garlic powder and onion powder. So I'm going to skip some of the onion and garlic. We're going to do, though, some cayenne pepper to give this a little heat. I'm using smoked paprika because smoked paprika is typically found in a good amount of different Middle Eastern dishes for marinades and such. And then to give it some more spice, we got to go with the Louisiana classic Louisiana hot sauce. So a couple dashes of hot sauce in there as well. All right. And now we are going to stir this all to combine. And then once we have this stirred together and mixed together, we'll taste it. And we're going to add some salt and pepper to it too. All right. Actually, before I forget, I already did forget. Again, this is what you do when you do this on the fly. So there's our base, but we're going to add some more herbs to this real quick. Forgot to mention, you're going to get a little parsley and then a little dill. This is usually partially in Dilla and typically found in traditional marmalades as well. So I'm just picking, this is probably about a quarter cup of the herbs combined. And just run a knife through this. Get these in a little stack here. And just run my knife through that. If you're following me on Instagram and you're from the area, you know that I do food collabs around the city of Chicago to raise money and awareness for the Muscular Dystrophy Association. A lot of the sandwiches that I've made on my Sunday sandwich series end up being different collabs, like the D Rose, the chopped cheese, the shallot cheese, which will be listed, I think it was week 2 of my Sunday sandwich series. I renamed that thing, and because that shallot cheese is the worst name I've ever given a sandwich, and I renamed it the D Rose. That was at JT's Genuine Sandwich Shop here in Chicago. We sold 289 of them in a week to raise $1,000 for the Muscular Dystrophy Association, which is crazy. The next week, about two Sundays ago, Halloween weekend, the Vampire Slayer, which I did in I think it was week 6, I believe week 6 or week 7 of the Sunday sandwich series. My Vampire Slayer was another sandwich. So this Falafel Po' Boy may actually end up being a sandwich collaboration here in the city one day. I don't know, but it usually manifests itself into being that. So if you're in Chicago, look out for it. If you're in Chicago, obviously this week, I have a couple big things starting tomorrow. Well, one thing has already been going on. My Tripping Billy Burger at Goose Island has been going on now it ran all October, and it just got extended through November because we set the record for most burgers sold for their burger of the month, for their sandwich of the month. And it was pretty amazing that little old me ended up having the #1 selling burger, and they decided to run it back for another month. So if you're out in the area, hit up Goose Island, try the Tripping Billy Burger, and then my pizza, the Tripping Billy, is starting tomorrow at Peace Pizza and Brewery in Wicker Park. So you can get a New Haven style version of my Tripping Billy pizza. So if you're in the area, I've got a couple of those going on. And then last thing I got going on too, I always have a lot going on. If you're up in Milwaukee or you're in the Chicagoland area and you want to take a ride up there, the best bagel shop in the city, Alley Boys, some of the best bagels and breakfast sandwiches around. We collaborated together on a pizza bagel. So it's a sausage and giardiniera pizza bagel. We also have a giardiniera cream cheese. So all of these different collaborations, a portion of each of the sales is going to the Muscular Dystrophy Association. Raised over $17,000 since last November for the charity. I myself have limb-girdle muscular dystrophy. I got diagnosed in March of 2021. So I've been using my food as a way to raise awareness and funds for the MDA, and hopefully make a difference and bring some awareness to this organization that maybe they wouldn't have normally had with this demographic. So anyway, back to the remoulade. That's all mixed up. I'm going to give this a little taste. Okay, so I'm going to hit it with some salt. Going to hit it with some white pepper, as I find it. So white pepper is another kind of staple in Creole cooking. I found a lot of white pepper in their dishes in a Creole mix. So get that mixed up, and it still needs a little bit more. So I'm going to take some of the pickle juice from the cornichons, because this is still a little thick, and I want to thin it out a little bit, and this will give it a little. Yeah, I think I like this. Taste it again. All right. Give it a little more. A couple more dashes of hot sauce. And just another mix. So because we got the hot sauce in there and some of the cayenne pepper, smoked paprika, you still kind of get that pinkish hue, the pinkish color that you would get from a traditional remoulade. That's good. All right, we're gonna put this to the side, but it has the flavors of the Middle East. You're gonna have the tahini in there, the Greek yogurt, the parsley, the dill. Actually, you know what? I feel like it needs a little bit more like acid, a little more lemon. I don't have lemons handy, but actually I do. I'm gonna do two things though. This is what you do. You got to taste your food. Taste your food to figure out what is going to take this to the best level. Okay. So to give us a little bit more of a Middle Eastern vibe, we're gonna add a little sumac. Sumac comes from sumac berries. It's an herb, spice, I should say, and it actually gives you a little lemony, taste, lemony feeling to it. So I'm gonna add that, and then also just squeeze half a lemon. Now, I think the sauce and remoulade. Yeah. Now that's where we're at, boys. We're cooking. We're cooking with gas. So, remoulade's done. Got our bread done. Falafel's obviously done. Last thing we need to do, get our toppings. Thank you for the clappies, guys. Whoever's out there, if you're out there watching, you want to clap, go ahead and clap. You want to cheer, you want to boo, you want to join the chef's table, ask me questions, come on through. Also, wet the beak a little bit. Tip me some clams if you like what I'm doing. Or, I already told you, I'm raising money for the Muscular Dystrophy Association. There's a link on there. Feel free to make a donation. Thank you for the clam out there for whoever's watching. I appreciate you. But if you want to make a donation to the MDA, there's also a link down here too. So if you'd like to do that. But we're going ahead and just thinly slice a couple tomatoes here. Probably going to see here. What's this? I think 2 is fine, honestly. I don't need to go nuts with this. All right, so we're making 2. Every Sunday I try to make 2 of these. Well, until recently. There was a stretch where I was making my sandwiches and someone called me out on it. They're like, Billy, you're not tasting your sandwiches. And the reason was I didn't want to taste my sandwich because I needed to take photos of it because I wanted to post pictures of it on my Instagram after I finish the stream so I can kind of promote everything I have going on. And I would, just skip over and like, okay, sandwich is done. Here's the chopped cheese or here's the whatever. And I just end the stream. I talked to a friend of mine and he's like, hey, I love what you're doing. The streams are great. I'm having fun. But like, how come you're not trying your sandwiches? Like people love to see people trying food and you got to actually give your thoughts on it. And I'm like, honestly, man, I want to, but I'm kind of limited. I have to take photos of this. He's like, why don't you just make 2 sandwiches? And I said, God damn it, you're right. I'm going to make 2 sandwiches every time. So gonna have an extra sandwich here. So I'm just gonna the other sandwich is gonna end up being for my girlfriend Rachel in the other room. And Rachel doesn't eat tomatoes or lettuce probably. So that's her thing. So anyway, got to make 2 sandwiches, and I will be trying this. I made this the last sandwich I did. I had to do it. I'm making 2 of everything, but I will try it. So we're gonna thinly slice. We want some shredders here. So just some iceberg. Just run your knife through it. Thin shreds. All right. Lettuce, tomato, and then lastly, we have pickles and cornichons in the remoulade. But going back to the little Middle Eastern spin, I want to use some Middle Eastern pickles. I've talked about these before on, I think it was I did a kefta smash burger a while back, but these are Middle Eastern pickles. Okay, they're pickled cucumbers. That's what a pickle is. But these are different because they're just simply brined in salt and water. So they're not dill pickles, and they're obviously not the cornichon. So they're not sweet. They're just they snap. They got a big snap to them, and very salty. So it's not like your typical American pickle. So you'll find these on falafel sandwiches and such. So I figured let's go ahead and slice some of these up, and this will give it a little salty pop. on top. All right. So I would love to normally make these, if I had bigger ones, turn these into chips. I don't, can't really do that because these are little small guys. So I'm going to go ahead and just slice these up into little planks. All right. So just running my knife carefully. All right. That should be actually plenty for the one sandwich I want to make here. All right. So got those ready. Got our falafel. Got our remoulade. Let's build a sandwich. All right. Starting out with the bread. Bread goes down. And again, this is the one element that I have today that I don't love. This is not your traditional po' boy bread, French roll that you get it down there. Want something a little bit just like, this is not terrible, but I want something that has just a little bit thinner of a crust on the outside. This is a little bit thicker, but this will do. So what we're going to do is go ahead and get this baby built. Starting now, get the bread flat down and get our remoulade. So, remoulade on the bottom, of course, on the top. And then just spread that across back of your spoon here. And push that down. Let it seep into the bread a little bit, soak up. All right. This is perfect for 3 falafel balls. For a small sandwich here. Push those down. No. Pickles. So, actually, let's do this. This is what we're going to adjust on the fly. I think about this all the time. The sandwich making is an art form. You can't just build a sandwich and slop things together. You got to think about structure. So I'm actually going to go with a layer of flat because I don't have chips and they're not going to sit evenly on these falafel balls. I'm going to lay these pickles across so you get a little bit of a bite of pickle, a little bit of pickle on every bite. Okay. Now I'll top it with the falafel. Then tomato. Our lettuce, and then some more hot sauce. All right, top this up. Flippies. And get a little cross section for you. Wash my hands real quick. And this already looks so good. All right, guys. There's our falafel po' boy. Look at that. It's going to be good. I can already tell. All right, flip this up. All right. Falafel po' boy coming at you. There it is. And moment of truth. Did I hit? Is this a victory? Or did I Cody Parkey this shit? Did I just double doink it? We'll figure it out. So last week, Justin Fields was under pressure. He dropped back. He stepped up in the pocket, looked over and saw Darnell Mooney coming across. He was about to throw it. Got in the air, stopped right here, brought it back in, accelerated for 65 yards, and had a game-breaking touchdown. That's basically what the shrimp, it was a shrimp po' boy. The falafel po' boy just did. This is a touchdown. This is solid. The falafel itself is, just good falafel, but all the elements work. The remoulade gives that tanginess from the cornichons and the acidity from like the vinegary hot sauce the tahini, the mayo, the mustard, everything together that plays really well. The saltiness of those pickles play well with this falafel. I already knew that'd be a good combination, but this is really solid. This is a good option, and hey, like I said, it may turn into something here in Chicago. But again, the bread isn't as bad as I thought it would be. It still works, but I would love to try this with a more traditional New Orleans style French roll. Sorry, I had to swallow the falafel there. So yeah, solid sandwich. If you're interested in making this, I would tell you, hey, I want to put a recipe up, but I'll be lying to you. I've been saying I'm going to put recipes up for a while, and I'm not. I'm lazy, and I haven't done it, and I have a lot going on. So if you want to watch this, and you want to know how to make it, and you watch the video, and you're like, hey, Billy, I didn't want to write that down, shoot me a DM. Follow me on Instagram or comment in the comment section below here. Leave me a comment, say, Billy, I want to make that remoulade. I want to make this, how you do it. And I will promise you, I'll do a falafel video. I'll schedule that in the next couple of weeks. I'll put up a falafel video and show you guys how to make falafel from scratch, because there is no better. I mean, there are better things in the world, but one of the best things in the world is a warm, hot falafel fresh out the fryer. It's awesome. So anyway, guys, week 9? Week 9? No, week 9 was a bye. This is week 10. Week 10 of the Sunday Sandwich Series. This year is flying. It's already November. Got Turkey Day coming up. All this stuff is crazy, but I appreciate you guys joining me. Next Sunday, we have a special guest. I teased this last week or 2 weeks ago before the bye week, but I need a little more time to get it set up. But next Sunday, I got a special guest, Barry from Sandwiches of History. If you follow his account on Instagram or TikTok, you know that he makes classic. He goes through old cookbooks and will make, sandwiches from the 1920s and 1940s and directly from a cookbook, exactly how they're written out, and then he does his own plus-ups. Well, Barry is going to be my guest, and we're going to live stream together. We're going to make a sandwich together. He's going to taste the sandwich and maybe plus it up if he needs to. So look out for us next Sunday. We're going to do a live stream. It'll be really cool. Barry's a good guy. Check him out. Sandwiches of History, on Instagram and TikTok. Give him a follow. Give me a follow, The Real Billy Z. And like my channel here. Follow me on here. Leave me some comments. Leave me some clams if you like it. Tip me some clams. But I really appreciate you guys joining me on this Sunday. Hope your team wins. Get ready for Justin Fields to put up like another 100 yards rushing, another couple tutties. Let's go, baby. Bears are back. Justin Fields are back. Sandwiches are back. Falafel po' boys. Let's go!